everyone. My name is Orpha Cilliers, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Applied Management, the Supply Chain Management section at UNISA. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to today's MiniMaster class session. I've been in academia for 33 years. To our UNISA alumni, I am the contact person you saw, whose name appeared on the invitation that you received during the weekend. To my MNP 26001 students, I'm the person behind the announcements, behind the assessments, and yes, all the strict rules. Today, our MNP 2602 and 3702 students, you will also have the opportunity to meet your lecturers on screen. They are Dr. Alicia Weber and Ms. Bonnie Dlamini. Now, the three of us will be coordinating the team arrangements for today's session. Now, today is session 1 of this semester. The session 2 series, or session 2 for the series, will also be coordinated by the rest of our section. And surprisingly, they are also ladies. So as you can hear, the supply chain management section at UNISA is very much driven by girl power. Before I continue, I want to preserve bandwidth, and therefore I'm going to switch off my camera, but I will remain with you throughout the session. On this memorable day, I wish to welcome our students, the alumni, industry colleagues, speakers, and our first-time attendees. Today, we mark the highest number of registrations the MiniMaster class series has received to date. What a day. I would like to applaud all stakeholders whose support, collaboration, and commitment have contributed to the growth and success of this initiative. For those joining the series for the first time, note that this already marks the 4th MiniMaster class series. For those who are new, I just want to give some background on what the MiniMaster classes are about. There are short lunchtime sessions where we connect academic learning and professional practice. With these sessions, we try to expose students and young professionals to industry insights, soft skills, and professional behaviors, all that matters in the workplace. Now, the series is always presented by the Supply Chain Management section at UNISA in partnership with SAPICS, who is the professional body for supply chain management in South Africa. So more information will be provided by the end of the session on our next session for this series. Before I begin, I just want to make a few practical points. The webinar settings require that the cameras and the microphones will have to remain off during this session. So if you have any questions, please place them in the Teams chat. You may post their questions for SAPICS as well as for our speaker. Because we have large numbers today, we won't be able to answer every question. And while I briefly take you through the program and introduce our speakers, you will see a poll appear in the Teams chat. I don't want to divert your attention, but please participate by answering just one question, as this will help our main speaker to see how active the audience already is on LinkedIn. In terms of the program today, after our first two speakers, Ms. Bonnie Dlamini will assist with the question and answer process, and then this session will conclude with when Dr. Alicia Weber will deliver a vote of thanks at the end. And then we aim to conclude at 13:30, 1:30. Let me start today's session by introducing the two main speakers, whereafter their presentations will follow. First of all, Clare. It's a pleasure to acknowledge our project partner, SAPICS, and to introduce to you Clare Fincham. Clare has more than 30 years of experience in associate management, sales and marketing, and she's been involved with SAPICS since 2008, and where she served as marketing manager since 2020. Clare, thank you for supporting this initiative and for partnering with us in the MiniMaster class series. Then I want to introduce Marius to you too before I hand over to Clare. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Marius. Now, Marius is the Managing Director of Turn Left, a B2B and LinkedIn specialist agency operating across 5 African locations. Marius Greeff has 19 years of experience in digital marketing. He has worked on commercial strategy for partners including LinkedIn, Meta, Logan, and Amazon ads. And remarkably, he's also Africa's only LinkedIn certified marketing expert. Wow. Before I invite Clare to begin, let me say that we are indeed privileged to have such distinguished expertise joining us today. Clare, may I invite you to start, and after that I will announce Marius Greeff. Over to you, Clare.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the incredible UNISA team for putting this all together. I'm just putting my camera on for 30 seconds so that you can see I'm not a robot. And it's a real privilege to partner with UNISA in the MiniMaster classes and to welcome all of you to this, this great session, the first one of 2026. I'm just going to share my slides quickly while I'm chatting. I'm the marketing manager of SAPICS. SAPICS is the industry body for people involved in supply chain management and all that that entails. I hope you can see my screen okay because I am now got a full screen, so I hope all is in view. Just going to take my camera off now just to save bandwidth. Thanks for all the thumbs up. So, SAPICS is the industry body that educates, elevates, and empowers individuals and organizations in supply chain management across Africa. We do that through our membership benefits, our events, our education program, which you would probably do post-grad, and finally, our annual conference. Why join a professional association? SAPICS's membership fee for students, just so that you know, is 166 Rand for the year. So it's a once-off payment for the year. And I'd like to just stress that I think it's very important to belong to a membership association. And when people ask me what I do and I say I'm in association management, they look at me blankly. But it really is an amazing place where people can meet like-minded people, they can benchmark, they can network, and they can learn. It's really important to belong to an association in a space. Because we're not a professional body and we don't have CPD points like the accountants, we have to ask people and encourage people to join of their own volition. So you get credibility from day one. You have access to industry networks. You can stay ahead of industry trends, and as a student, you have access to all of these webinars, the conference presentations, the research that's done, and thought leadership, which can help you with your studies. There's shared standards and making sure that the industry is operating with the best practices in their workplaces. And obviously, most important, career opportunities. So as a member of SAPICS, you have the option to add your CV to our website. And a lot of our corporate members and other members do look at our website for looking for employers. And I really encourage you, if you do join up as a member and you come to a site visit, for example, that you say to the host of the site visit, I'm available in December and January to work in your factory or on your shop floor as a volunteer, and you can add that to your CV and that shows that you have real commitment to the profession. Start building your career before you graduate. So this is really easy networking. Come to a site visit, attend our webinars, look at the names of the people who are in the chat and connect with them personally. You obviously get big discounts to attend our conferences, etc. And we have a really great mentorship program, as I mentioned. And it gives you visibility with employers. SAPICS has a phenomenal membership platform called GlueUp. And it works a little bit like LinkedIn, and you can connect with future employers, current employers through the membership platform. I'm stressing again that the cost is 166 Rand per year. You also have the opportunity to belong to a student chapter. I am in negotiations with the various universities about setting up student chapters. We have 2 set up already. And if you say, I'd like to speak at a conference, or I would like to speak for 5 minutes and give my testimonial about how SAPICS has changed me, I would absolutely encourage that and welcome that. Some motivational quotes. Your degree gives you knowledge, professional membership gives you access, and careers are built on both. And that's one of the reasons why we started the mini masterclasses, was to bridge the gap between academia and the workplace. And I would really like to think that as a team of UNISA and SAPICS, that we really have given students and young professionals a lot of opportunity in that regard. The best career opportunity still happens in rooms and not in inboxes. Whilst I appreciate Marius and his amazing knowledge about LinkedIn, I think that there's place for both, and am a staunch believer in meeting people in person. LinkedIn is where you record your career, and professional associations are where you build it. This is just a few now. LinkedIn is very important. LinkedIn is crucial to the working of SAPICS. I'd like to just say that, and also for my own personal work and learnings, etc. Network LinkedIn versus real life. You send a connection request, but you meet a professional face-to-face at a SAPICS site visit. You hope that they reply, and what you can do is, if you do meet somebody face-to-face, you then connect with them on LinkedIn and say, hi, this is Clare Fincham. I met you at the SAPICS Gospel site visit. I'd really like to connect with you on LinkedIn, and I am available for VAC work, and if you are needing somebody. You remembered personally, you hear from them directly from experts, and it's a lovely, warm introduction to employers. I would highly recommend having SAPICS membership on your CV for potential future clients, employers, sorry. Just a quick, I'm going to put it in the chat, so I won't go through everything, but I have mentioned quite a bit. We do have a young professional conference online on the 8th of April. Sorry about that. It just changed the other day. I will, the link is a bit late. But just you have access to our events and webinars, the Career Centre, the mentorship program, and you receive regular and informative communications to assist you with your studies and your projects. 166 Rand, excluding VAT, for 12 months of membership. So our conference is on the 8th of April. It's via Zoom, and the program is really great. And Professor Cilliers will be speaking at the event too, and really look forward to seeing you all there. I will put the event in the chat. If you do join up, you get a proud SAPICS member, which you can put on your CV or on your email signature or on as a post on LinkedIn or Facebook. And please join us, join our community. We really do look forward to seeing you. We also have an annual conference. I won't share a slide on that now, but just want to say that every year we host an annual conference in Cape Town. It's something to aspire to attend as you go through your career. It really is the place where it is the leading event for supply chain professionals in Africa, and we're very, very proud of the community. We're turning 60 this year, as you can see in my my time has just come up, so I'm going to stop now. And then you'll see that we are 60 years old and very proud of that. And one day I look forward to all meeting you at the SAPICS conference. Thank you very much again for your time. I will put some of the information into the chat. and internationally accredited. So not really internationally accredited, but we do offer programs through ASEM, demand driven, the Institute of Business Forecasting, and those are all international qualifications, and you would then receive an international certification if you do those courses. I hope that answers you quickly, but the rest I will do in the chat. Thank you very much, and over to you, Professor Cilliers. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you for introducing our attendees to SAPICS and for highlighting the value of being part of the professional body. Marius, we are delighted to have you with us today to share practical guidance on how to build a strong LinkedIn presence and presenting yourself professionally in the digital space. Marius, welcome. Thank you for joining us, and over to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the introductions, and it's absolutely a pleasure to be here. And good afternoon and welcome, everybody. As we now know, my name is Marius, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you today. It's interesting that when I look at the initial poll that we put up, 59% of the people on the call today have a LinkedIn profile, but use it very rarely or do not have a LinkedIn profile at all. So whether you've registered for the session called LinkedIn Like a Pro, and whether you're here because you genuinely want to crack the code on LinkedIn or because you were curious what this was about and figured you'd check it out, I promise you're in the right place. And before I dive in, I just want to be upfront with you. I'm really going to be practical in this session. I'm going to give you real actionable things you can do today that will start making a difference to your online presence. And I'm also going to just up front start speaking about why this is important. And then we've got a fantastic Q&A lined up at the end. So please share your questions in the chat or in the QA functionality. I know there will be many, and we'll then give you the space you deserve to discuss your wants and needs. But before we start, I just want to paint a little bit of a picture around the world in which young professionals find themselves today. And there are generally three forces that are working on the changing talent landscape. The first one is around competition. You are entering the most competitive job market in recorded history. And there are more graduates than ever before competing for the same entry-level roles. And recruiters are not just looking for a needle in a haystack, they're looking for the right needle in that pile of needles. Second, it's about skills. The skills that will get you hired in 2026 are not the same ones that got people hired in 2016. So companies are expecting you to keep learning, not just in your degree, but continuously. And third, it's about disruption. We all know that technology is reshaping industries at a pace that none of us have ever seen before. The traditional career path, study, apply, get a job, stay for 30 years, that's largely gone. Now, here's why I'm telling you this. It's not to stress you out. It's because knowing all of this means you can do something about it. And LinkedIn is one of the most powerful tools available to you for free to navigate all of these changes. So let's talk a little bit about where LinkedIn fits in. And to understand that, I want to start with a concept you probably already understand without realizing it. And that's the concept of a brand. So when you think of a brand, whether it's Nike or Sabrina Carpenter or UNISA, what is it really, right? So at its core, a brand is a promise. It's what someone can expect when they choose you over someone else. And it tells the world how you're different. Think about Apple, think about Nike, whatever brand comes to mind, they all stand for something. And you know what you're getting before you've even bought the product. Now, I'm going to ask you something that might feel a bit unusual, right? Imagine you're standing in a mall, right? You're in Menlyn or you're in Sandton and you have $40 in your pocket and you want to buy a coffee. You walk past the Seattle, you walk past the Starbucks and the Vita and the Bootlegger and the Woolworths. How do you decide where to go? You decide based on what each brand promises you and how it resonates with you. Starbucks promises a certain kind of experience. Bootleggers promises something else. Vita promises energy. Woolworths promises reliability. And they all make coffee, right? But they're not the same. You can make a choice based on who they are, just not what they sell. So here's my question for you. When a recruiter is scrolling through your LinkedIn profile, what does your brand say about you? What do they expect when they click on your profile? What's your promise? And that's the question I'm going to help you try and solve today. So everybody has a brand. You absolutely do. And whether you manage it or not, it exists. It's existed from the first time you were in primary school and you started interacting with people and you started expressing your personality. People already have an impression of you based on what they can find, both online and offline. And your professional brand is the sum of what other people experience when they encounter you, your work, your words, your reputation, your online presence. And the most important key insight I can share with you today is the fact that you can shape it. You're not stuck with whatever impression currently exists. You get to decide what story you tell. And LinkedIn, done well, is where your story lives. And the benefit is I'm having this discussion with you today a lot earlier than I have this discussion with CEOs and with executives in organizations and with people who really work in business. So I invite you to use this information as early as possible to start cementing and start narrating your own brand as early as you can. Now, I want you to put yourself in an employer's shoes at the moment. They have 150 CVs on their desk. They have 3 hours, if that much, to shortlist them. And they are looking for reasons to say no, just as much as they're looking for reasons to say yes. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of those 150 CVs all look identical. Same qualifications, similar experience, similar formatting. So the question becomes, what makes you worth a second look? And that's what your brand answers. It's your differentiator. It's why somebody should choose you over the other 149 people. Your brand right now is made up of a few things. Firstly, your skills, your education, your coursework, the specific things you've learned, even outside of your formal studies. Have you done part-time work? Have you done volunteer works? Things that you've taught yourself. All of it counts. Secondly, your network, the people who can vouch for you, the people who know you and who would, without hesitation, recommend you to others. So this could include classmates and lecturers, part-time employers, mentors. Every relationship you build is a potential future door. And with UNISA, because of the long distance learning aspect, it's significantly more important to work on our networking because we don't have that physical in-class element as much as other universities. So we need to look at the people who are on this call today, the people that are connected to us, right? And figure out if there's an opportunity to bring them into my network and to extend my network with them. And then lastly, your information, your areas of expertise and your interests. What do you know about? What are you genuinely curious about? Your expertise, even at this early stage, is part of your brand. Now, here's what I really want you to hear. Some of you are in the middle of your studies. You might be thinking, I don't have enough experience here to build a brand. And I want you to challenge that thinking completely. The best time to start building your LinkedIn profile is right now. Not when you graduate, not when you're landing your first job, right now. Because by the time you graduate, if you've been building your presence over 2-3 years, you will be miles ahead of your peers who've waited. Your brand isn't just about where you've been, it's also about where you're going. What do you value? What do you want? What kind of professional do you want to become? These things, your values, your goals, are just as much a part of your brand as your qualifications. And employers aren't just hiring your degree, they're hiring a person. It's really important to remember that. They want to know if you will be a good fit for their team, their culture, their future. And when you're intentional, and intentional is one of my favorite words, when you're intentional about articulating these things on your LinkedIn profile, you don't just look like a candidate, you look like someone who knows themselves. And that's really, really rare. Even in my organization, we always say, like, we hire on personality and we train on skills, right? So today, your values, your goals, your approach, the way that you resonate with people is just as important as the skills and the qualifications you've built up. But now let's dive into LinkedIn a little bit. Okay, so let's have a little bit of fun. We all use social media, right? Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But what do we actually say on those platforms? And I like using this metaphor of donuts. So, I like donuts, or watch me eat a donut, or here's a cool photo of my donut, right? You get the idea. It's personal and it's casual and it's you being you in your own space. But LinkedIn is a little bit different. LinkedIn is the professional world. And the mindset shift you need to make consciously is, what version of me belongs here? Not a fake version, not a corporate robot, but the professional, intentional, goal-orientated version of you. And it's ironic because last night I had a conversation with the CMO of one of the largest fintechs in the country. And that's exactly the conversation we had. So the conversation I'm having with you today is exactly the same conversation I have with executives in big businesses as well, is how do you show up in each of these different platforms? And how do you understand, how do you engage differently in each one? So on LinkedIn, we do it slightly differently. So instead of I like donuts, on LinkedIn, we can say, I hope to work in supply chain management in the donut industry. Or instead of watch me eat a donut, you can say, I'm looking for internships in Krispy Kreme. Or instead of here's a photo of my donut, you can say, I have 1 year part-time retail experience in the quick service restaurant business. The platform is the same. Social media is social media. The difference is the intention or the mindset. And when you approach LinkedIn with intention, you will get results that none of those other social platforms can give you. So globally, today, LinkedIn is a platform with more than 1.3 billion people, right? 65 million decision makers. In South Africa alone, we've got more than 13 million people on the platform. And the people that are on LinkedIn are genuinely people that are economically active, upwardly mobile, employed, educated, and the people who make decisions that shape the organizations of our country and our continent. So it's important that we start positioning and tapping into that potential quite quickly. So let's get specific. What can LinkedIn actually do for you as a student? And it really comes down to 3 things fundamentally. I like talking about 3 things or 5 things because it's always easier to remember. So the most important thing that it does is it connects you to the professional world. People you could never walk up to and introduce yourself to, lecturers at universities, senior managers at your dream company, recruiters at firms that you've always wanted to work for. They're all accessible to you on LinkedIn. Secondly, it keeps you informed. Industry trends, thought leadership, company news, all of it flows through your LinkedIn feed when you set it up properly. And lastly, it helps get you hired. this is the one thing everybody cares about, right? And we're going to go deep on this, but everybody wants a job. So connecting you to the professional world, keeping you informed, and most importantly, getting you hired. Now, here are some numbers again that I want you just to sit on for a second. So over 50 million employers are on LinkedIn, right? As I said, more than 1.3 billion professionals across 200 countries, and nearly 3 million groups you can join to build your community and expertise, right? So it's the professional world in a digitized manner. And the beautiful thing about being a student on LinkedIn right now is you can start building relationships with this world before you even need anything from it. That's a massive advantage that you can use right now. But now, the reason why we do this, right? The reason why we go and we build a profile on LinkedIn while we curate this is because I want to manage the way that people find me. So I've got a Facebook profile and I've got a YouTube profile and I've got a LinkedIn profile. But because of the wealth of information I put on my LinkedIn profile, it is genuinely the first thing that appears on most search engines. So your cameras are off. I want you to quickly go and Google yourself, right? And if you have a LinkedIn profile and you've done some work to start completing it, let me know where it is on your search results, right? So if it's in the top 3, give me a little heart so I know that I'm not talking nonsense. I just want to make sure. So as you put more information on your LinkedIn profile, you start curating that experience, right? And so when somebody searches for you for a new position, they get to see your LinkedIn profile, your best foot forward in a professional sense first before anybody else. Now, a strong LinkedIn profile is the most important thing that we can do. It's the foundation for everything else that happens on LinkedIn. And so it's incredibly important to make sure that it's the best representation of our professional selves that it actually can be. And I'm going to delve into the hows now. And this is really the practical part. How do I actually go and make sure that my profile aligns to best practice? So the first thing that we want to make sure about, and that a lot of students make this mistake, is they treat their LinkedIn profile as an online version of their CV. And it's not. They serve very different purposes. Your CV is a targeted document. You tailor it for a specific job, one specific employer. It's designed to get you an interview. Now, your LinkedIn profile, it's different. It speaks to every potential employer. It speaks to every potential connection all at once. And it allows people to interact with you, to follow you, to reach out to you. And it can carry things your CV can never do. Things like your recommendations, your endorsements, project links, articles you've written. Think of your CV as your pitch for one deal. Think of your LinkedIn profile as your shop window. It's always open, it's always visible, and you never know who's going to be walking past. I always say there's a reason why UNISA doesn't turn on their website at 9 o'clock in the morning and turn it off again at 5 o'clock at night, right? They don't know when people are going to be needing their services. They don't know when somebody's going to wake up at 8 o'clock at night and realize, oh, I actually want to study this thing, or, I need to submit something, or I want to find out more. And so your LinkedIn profile is exactly the same. It is an always on presence that positions you as that senior leader. Now, the most important thing that you can do is make sure that you have a great LinkedIn photo. I want to talk to you about your photo for a minute, because I know some of you might be tempted to skip the step or use whatever's on your phone. And the thing is, don't. Profiles with photos get up to 20 times more views and 9 times more connection requests, 20 times. It's not a small difference. Now, you don't need a professional photographer. You need a decent smartphone, good lighting, a clean, uncluttered background, and a good smile, right? You want to make sure that when somebody looks at that profile photo and they meet you in real life for the first time, they can resonate with you and they recognize you. So also think about how you dress. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have, not your Friday afternoon outfit. Think, if I walk into an interview tomorrow, what would I wear? And then you wear that. And make sure that your face takes up most of the frame. It isn't Instagram, so no cats, no dogs, no boyfriends or girlfriends or significant others, no parties, no beach shots. It's a headshot. It needs to be approachable, professional, and warm. And when somebody searches for you on LinkedIn, go and try this right now. When somebody searches for you on LinkedIn, your profile photo and something called your headline are two of the first things that people see. So you want to make sure that from the very first moment, you give a good first impression. Now we're going to fill out your profile a little bit. And here's the mindset I want you to carry into this. Your profile is your story in your words. It's not a template. It's not a generic list of bullet points. It's your story. However, I want you to position it in the mindset of the person who's looking at the profile, not the person who's writing it. So based on what your objective is, based off of what you want to get out, you need to position your profile differently. When we work with senior executives or thought leaders, the reason why they edit their LinkedIn profile, why they start publishing on LinkedIn, is very, very different from somebody who is a salesperson, from somebody who is a student who's looking to get hired. And so what you want to think about is when somebody lands on your profile, from the very first thing that they see, does every single aspect of my profile make me more desirable as a thought leader, as a salesperson, as a potential employee, right, as a potential student? And then we go and we edit every single thing to align to what our objective is, right? So if I want to position myself as a thought leader on LinkedIn, I make sure that my profile, from my header banner at the top to my profile photo, to my description, to my about section, etc., all speak to my expertise, and it showcases that. And so, again, the invitation is think about this in the mind of who you're trying to influence. And then you start with the basics, your location, your education, for example. Make sure they're accurate, because LinkedIn uses them to recommend you to recruiters in your area and field. Then certifications, your UNISA qualification absolutely belongs here. Don't undersell it. Then skills, work, internship experience, even part-time or informal work counts. Did you waitress, manage a family tuck shop, tutor fellow students? Put it in. Every piece of experience tells a story about who you are. Did you perhaps volunteer at an organization that you've been part of? Even things that feel small or unrelated can speak to your character or your work ethic and your age. And so as you progress in your career, you're going to move your profile to progress with you. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, but Marius, I don't have much to put in yet. I'm still studying. And I want you to know that's exactly why you should start now. Fill in what you have, build the foundation, and then you can add to it as you grow. The next piece I want you to focus on is your headline. And your headline is possibly the most important few words in your profile. If you've never edited it, it sits right below your name, your profile photo, And it's what people see in search results, in connection requests everywhere. And the mistake most people make is just writing their job title, or worse, like UNISA, student at UNISA. Your headline is your value proposition. Right, I'm seeing some great questions here. I love it. Your headline is your value proposition. It's your answer to the question, why should I click on this person's profile? And you should ask yourself 3 things when you write it. If this is the only thing somebody reads about me, what does it say? Does it represent my brand and what makes it different? And does it speak to what a recruiter in my target field would care about? For example, instead of just saying UNISA student, you could consider something like supply chain management student, passionate about logistics and operational efficiency, open to internships. So now you're already positioning yourself in your chosen field, your chosen expertise. You're using your passions, your focus areas to differentiate yourself. And you've got that call to action that you're open for internships. So we've changed it to something that's specific, it's active, and it tells someone immediately who you are and what you're looking for. And it gives a recruiter a reason to keep reading. Your summary, your about section, is where you get to actually speak. So not just bullet points, not just the list, but a few paragraphs where your voice comes through. And here's the formula I recommend for you right now. And it's really, really simple. And all of this we'll give to you afterwards. So don't worry about remembering everything now. Now, again, when you move on later in your career, we can change this a little bit. But the first 1 to 2 sentences are about who you are right now. So I'm a second-year supply chain management student at UNISA with a passion for logistics and a growing interest in sustainability in the supply chain. Right? So simple one to do. Then 3 to 5 sentences about your experience, your skills, and what you care about. What have you done? What are you good at? What drives you? And then 1 to 2 sentences about where you're going and how people can connect with you. I'm currently looking for internships opportunities and would love to connect with professionals in the logistics space. One really important practical note. Your summary needs to be at least 40 words for LinkedIn to include you in search results. Under 40 words and you're effectively invisible. So don't just write 2 sentences and call it done. Give it people something to read. And it's really important to remember as well that LinkedIn basically works the same like Google. So what it does is it goes and it scrapes your profile. It looks at all of the keywords that you include. And then based on what people are searching for, it's going to show you potentially how you show up. So make sure that you think about, what do I want to show up for? When somebody searches for supply chain management or logistics, then I want to make sure that my profile appears. So I should include those keywords in my profile. Okay, so if you make all of those changes, then you are absolutely on the right track to making sure that your profile is in a good space. So let's talk about the other half of the equation, your network, right? Because here's the reality. A beautiful profile with no connections is like a shop in the middle of the desert. Nobody walks past it. Nobody finds it. And so the thing about LinkedIn is it's a social media platform. And as such, it's a network. And the more intentionally you build it, the more valuable it becomes. So we're going to look into how you find existing connections, how to find new ones, and how to be strategic about growing your network. Before you go further, I want you to see this number, and I want you to remember it. More than half of all hires happens because of a personal connection. Not a job board, not a CV drop. A person who knew a person who made a phone call or who sent a message. And this is why networking isn't optional. It's not a nice to have. It is statistically the most likely way you will get your first professional opportunity. So let's talk about how you build that network. LinkedIn works on a degree system. Your first degree connections are people you directly know and you're connected with. Your second degree connections are people that your connections know. And your third degree connections are one step further removed. Now, it's all about extrapolation and compound. Say you've got 50 first degree connections. Each one of them has 50 connections. Suddenly, you can potentially reach 2,500 people. And their network extends your reach even further. Every meaningful connection you make is not just one door, it's a whole new corridor of doors that are opening. And this is the wonderful thing. It's that compound interest of connections. Now, research shows us that your weak connections, those originally in your second and third degree networks, are often more valuable for your job search than your strong existing connections because their networks are more diverse than your own. For example, my neighbor's daughter works at Amazon, right, in Cape Town. And I've only met her once. But if I wanted to introduce somebody to the Amazon ecosystem, either for an internship or a role or to find out more about the organization, she can help me find jobs there and connect me with people in the field. So each time you connect with somebody new, their own extended networks become accessible to you. Now, it's really important. On LinkedIn, you can customize your connection request to explain why you are interested in adding a second or a third degree connection to your network. Whether it's to learn about their career journey through an interview or to request a referral for a job you're interested in. Most LinkedIn members often or always respond to a referral request, and more than 60% of the workforce has referred someone to work at their company. And listen, I know it feels a little bit uncomfortable and nerve-wracking to connect with somebody new for this purpose. Sorry, but it is a professional norm that could lead to your next career opportunity. So what does that actually look like? It could be something like, "Hi, Alicia. I came across your profile through Marius, a mutual connection. I'm a supply chain management student at UNISA, and I really admire the work that you do at Coke. I'd love to add you to my network and hopefully learn from your experience." It takes 30 seconds, and it is the difference between a connection that leads somewhere and one that just sits forgotten in somebody's inbox. That relevancy really does matter. And here's one of my favorite features that almost nobody uses. It's called the alumni tool. And every school, every LinkedIn page has this. So you go to your school's LinkedIn page, in your case, UNISA, and you click on alumni. And you will see everyone from your institution who is on LinkedIn, what they studied, where they work now, and what they do. And this is absolute freaking gold. You can filter by industry, by company, by location, and suddenly you can see exactly what career paths are available to somebody with your background. Real people who studied what you're studying and who are working at places that you want to work. And so here's the important bit. The number one way companies recruit is through employee referrals. And employees quite often are incentivized for bringing in new people. And so your alumni network is the most natural, credible introduction you can get. And you should absolutely use it. Let me give you 3 practical networking principles that will serve you for your entire career. Firstly, break out of your silo. Don't wait until you get a job to start building relationships. That's too late. Start now. Reach out to somebody in your field today just to learn, not to ask for anything. The second thing, as you start building out your network, nurture it. The people already in your life, your lecturers, your classmates, your part-time colleagues, these are your first degree connections. Don't ignore them. Connect with them on LinkedIn, stay in touch, offer help where you can. And then thirdly, build a board of advisors. Think about 3 types of people you want in your corner. Somebody like the advocate. This is somebody who knows you personally and believes in you. Could be a close friend, a family member, a mentor. Then you could have the strategic end. This is a well-connected person who will make introductions on your behalf, a professor, a university contact, and then a subject matter expert, somebody who's got a deep knowledge of your field who can give you honest, unbiased advice. Start building that board now, even if it is informal, even if it's just 3 people. These relationships will change your career. And I want to share with you a little bit on what that actually looks like. Once you've built your connections, use them. LinkedIn's messaging function lets you reach out directly. And here's the rule. If you don't know the person in real life, tell them clearly who you are and why you're reaching out. Don't be vague. Don't just say, hi, can we connect? Be specific, be genuine, be brief. People respond to clarity and to authenticity. They don't respond to copy-pasted messages that clearly went to 50 people. And so have a look at this quick video that explains it a little bit more.
The day I graduated, I moved to New York. I had 0 connections, and as positive as I was trying to be, nothing was happening. So I went on LinkedIn, I connected with me to my boss. That's how I got to the trading floor. When I first got, I was the only female on the floor. I get to represent girls. I'm in it to change the game. The day I graduated.
Okay. So I want to just talk to you quickly about one of the most underused tools in a student's networking toolkit, and it's called the informational interview. An informational interview is not a job interview, right? It's not when somebody interviews you. It's a 20-minute conversation over coffee, over a phone, on a Teams call, where you ask somebody about their career journey. You're not asking for a job. You're asking for their story, their advice, their perspective. And this does a few things for you. It helps you understand the industry better. It builds a genuine professional relationship. And this is the part most people don't realize. It puts you on their radar. So when a role does come up that fits your profile, guess who they're going to think about? The student who took the time to have a real conversation with him. I want to invite you, send 5 of those requests this month. See what happens. Personalize that connection request, explain what the interview is for, and then reach out. Now, it's also important when you're actively applying for a job at a company where you have a connection, reach out to that person before you apply. Tell them you're interested in the role. Tell them why. Ask if they'd be willing to share an insight about the team or about the culture or about the company, and if they're comfortable putting your name forward. More than 60% of the global workforce has referred somebody to their company. That means that the majority of your future colleagues got where they are, at least in some form or fashion or manner, because somebody they knew opened a door for them. Your job is to build the kind of network where those doors exist. And the data backs this up, right? So LinkedIn members who got referred are significantly more likely to be hired than those who applied cold. It's not luck, it's a network, and it's intentional relationship building. So here are a few hacks to take that relationship building further. The first one is request recommendations. A recommendation on LinkedIn is a public written endorsement from somebody who has worked with you. It's a reference letter that's visible to the world, that's attached to your profile forever. And again, like who should I ask? What about, former or current managers, lecturers who supervise projects or knew you from working closely together, colleagues from volunteer roles, mentors? And here's the thing, it doesn't need to come from the CEO. A warm, genuine recommendation from a tutor who watched you grow as a student is just as powerful. It's a thoughtful endorsement from somebody who's built up a relationship with you. And if you can build out 2 or 3 strong recommendations, you make your profile feel alive and credible in a way that no skills or qualifications ever can. Now, it's important, your LinkedIn profile, it's not a static thing. It's not just a CV that you upload and forget. It's a living presence. And so you need to be actively working and building out on your profile. You should engage with content, like and share articles that are relevant to your field. Comment thoughtfully on posts by people in your network or by people that you would like to connect to. You can join groups, you can follow alumni, you can engage in insights, and make sure that you give before you receive. Recommend others, endorse skills, share opportunities that you've come across that might benefit somebody you know. When you show up consistently on LinkedIn as somebody who adds value, people notice and they remember. Now, let's quickly talk about the job search itself, because at the end of the day, for many of you, this is what it comes down to. LinkedIn is one of the most powerful job search tools on the planet, and most people only use about 10% of what it can do. We're going to look at 6 specific things you can do now, right? And we'll start quickly. The first thing is show recruiters that you are open for work. And this costs you nothing by letting recruiters know that you're looking. LinkedIn has a feature called Open to Work. You can activate it from your profile, and you can choose whether it's visible to everybody or just recruiters. When you activate this, you don't just change a setting. You go into a pool that recruiters actively search. They filter for candidates who are open to opportunities in specific roles and specific locations. If you're looking for an internship or a first job, turn this on today. And you can choose to have it public or private. Public, everybody can see it. Not great if you're in an existing job and they now know you want to go somewhere else. But you can choose to keep it hidden, and when somebody uses the recruitment tool to search, they can see your profile. The second thing is to use LinkedIn search filters. You can search by job title, by company, by location, by experience, by industry, and you can combine them however you need. And this is a nice, simple hack. Once you've built a search that returns useful results, save it. Turn on job alerts. LinkedIn will then email you when new roles matching your criteria are posted. It means you're not just reactive, you're proactive. You hear about roles before everybody else does. And being one of the first applicants makes a massive difference. Make sure your profile is complete, your skills, your experience, your location, because LinkedIn, again, uses this information to recommend roles to you automatically. The more complete your profile, the better the recommendations. And follow companies you want to work for. Follow their pages, check out their life sections, learn about their cultures, watch who they hire, see what they post. Right? One Final thing, while we're here, also make sure that you follow thought leaders and influencers in your industry. LinkedIn has thousands of people that are creating genuinely valuable content about supply chain, economics, business trends, career development, AI, you name it. Follow them, read their posts, comment on the things that resonate with you. It does two things. It keeps you informed, which feeds into your professional brand, and it puts your name in front of people's networks organically over time. Then I want to quickly point out a few bonus resources before we wrap up. The first one is utilize LinkedIn Learning as effectively as possible. LinkedIn Learning is a free platform that offers courses on everything from soft skills to technical skills to interview prep. So go and visit opportunity.linkedin.com. For those of you who want to strengthen your professional communication, your emotional intelligence, your collaborative tools, there are learning paths for all of this for free on LinkedIn Learning on demand right now. So go and use that free learning to improve yourself and build out your repertoire of skills and experience. The second thing you can do is you can join LinkedIn groups that are relevant to your industry. Things like supply chain, logistics, economics, search for them and engage. This is really where professional conversations happen. When jobs get shared informally, that's where your name can start become known. And take a moment, this is the group slide we were talking about. And then lastly, take a moment to work on your privacy settings. Make sure that you set it in such a way that you are not inundated with notifications. LinkedIn loves sending notifications. I get about 600 every day. Make sure that you change your communication and your network settings so that your profile appears the way you want it to appear, that you can communicate with other people in a way that feels sustainable to you, and that you're notified of the right things. Right? Your privacy settings are an incredibly important, easy tool for you to use, especially early on, to help you build out your qualifications and your expertise and how people engage with you. Before we open up for Q&A, I want to hand and briefly speak to you about something that connects beautifully to everything that we've discussed today. Your LinkedIn profile, again, is powerful, but it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists in an ecosystem of professional community, standards, and credibility. And that's really where professional associations like SAPICS comes in. Think about everything we've said today about your professional brand, about credibility, about networks, about speaking the language of your industry. Now, membership in a recognized professional body does all of that, but in the real world off screen. Your LinkedIn profile tells a recruiter who you want to be. Your professional association membership tells them that a recognized body of experts has validated who you are. These two things together, a strong LinkedIn presence and a professional association membership, is a really great, powerful combination that very few students at your stage have. You really have the opportunity to be ahead of the curve, and I invite you to take it. So that's a wrap from my side. I genuinely hope that today has at least given you one thing, ideally 5 or 6 things, that you can go and do right now to start building your professional presence. Remember, you don't need to be employed to build a professional brand. You don't need to have years of experience to start networking. You just need to start. The students who build their LinkedIn profiles in their second year of study, who connect with alumni, who request informational interviews, who follows companies and engages with content, those are the students who hit the ground running when they graduate. So be that student. I'm going to hand back to our facilitator now for the Q&A, but before I do, just a big thank you from our side. Thank you for the time, your intention, and just the ambition in being here today. It says something about the kind of professional that you want to be. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to some great questions.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a session we just had. I am so inspired myself. Unfortunately, my picture is not showing. I'll just have to switch off the camera in that manner. But may I please just ask for another round of applause for both Marius and Claire for the insightful presentation they have just given us. Show them some love. Thank you very much. I can see people have started raising their hands. I am now going to offer you a lifetime platform that you can share your questions. We're going to work in this way. I'll take 2 hands at the go, and thereafter I'll read about 2 questions from the chat. If ever we don't get to answer all your questions, please note that the speakers will answer your questions on the chat, and this session will be on the YouTube channel. So for now, we have 2 people. We'll start with Pubalan. The floor is yours, Pubalan. You already unmuted. You can just go ahead and shoot. Just unmute yourself again, Pubalan. There you go. Okay, it looks like Pubalan is having issues with unmuting himself or herself. Can I rather give the opportunity, because we're pressed with time, to Margaret? We'll come back to you, Pubalan.
Hi, good afternoon. And good afternoon to you, Marius. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
All right. Yeah, it is very nice. I don't know, I'm lost for words for this information that you just given us. I had my LinkedIn for the longest time, but yeah, I've never looked at it like that, how you explained today. But my question is now regarding contacting the people or the hiring manager. How do you make sure you speak the relevant things and noting that the person doesn't have time? How do you make sure that your questions and things that you need to know upright, how to prepare for that, and what is it that you need to find out and rephrase it when you speak to that person? Thank you so much.
That's a good question. So I'm going to try and be brief. The wonderful thing about social media and about LinkedIn is there's so much information available, right? So I can see who the recruiters are inside those organizations. I can see the roles that are available. I can see what it looks like to actually work inside those organizations by what they post on LinkedIn, by the things that are on their life pages on their LinkedIn profile. So I can see what it looks like, who the people are, and I can use that once I know that there are roles open. I can use that information to go and actively apply and give the recruiter context on why I'm applying. I can see that the graduate program is open. I can see that there are internship opportunities. I can see that there are junior entry level positions that are open, or senior entry level positions, depending on where you are in your studies. And you can use that information to craft a message that is relevant to them. Also, don't be scared of following the recruiter, and as they share content, as they're posting and talking, to engage in their content over time. It shows them that you are actively engaging in their brand, you are following them, you're learning more about the position, so that when you reach out, like, you are not just a cold lead, a cold person that's reaching out. You're somebody that actually knows a little bit more about them and what they stand for. I hope that
Thank you.
helps.
Thank you very much, Marius, for that. I think it was loud and clear. We seems like we have lost people, and I'm now going to give to Louis Dupree. We don't have much time. I'm just going to plead with you to please keep it sweet and short.
All right, I'll try my best. Hi, Marius. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, Louis.
Marius, thank you so much. It was it had so much good information. I've always also had LinkedIn for a while, but I haven't used it as much as I should. I just have a two-parter. Like, first, you say you have spoken to a lot of companies and executives. Do you talk to them about the same things you've talked to us about, like how to use LinkedIn to get yourself out there, or do you also give them information on how to look for the right employees? And are you using that information to provide us with the, with guidelines? And then the second part is how did you acquire all this information about LinkedIn and the marketing?
So to answer your question, whenever we go in and we do training inside corporates, it depends on who we speak to. So normally when we talk to executives or to senior leaders, for them, it's more about positioning the organization, right? Because they also have customers or potential customers that they want to position the organization to. So when we talk to them, it's slightly different, right? So a lot of the same things, but just looked at in a very different light and a slightly different approach. However, we do these types of sessions with recruiters, right? And then we talk to them about how to use a lot of these same tools that we've just discussed to really make sure that they're landing with the right people. And then how did I learn all this knowledge? I've been working for LinkedIn and with LinkedIn since 2010, right? Directly. And I have, it's just lots and lots of years of learning. There are also on LinkedIn, if you want to study how to do, like advertising on LinkedIn, how brand theory works, there are courses and certifications that you can do to help you become certified in some of the LinkedIn skills. So yeah, a lot of self-learning and a lot of learning. I'm a constant learner, so I always go and just look at every source that's available.
Okay, thank you so much, Marius, and I wish you a lot of prosperity in what you're doing. It's really great. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that answer, Marius, and thank you for that question also, Mr. Dupree. Okay, as I had promised, I am not ignoring you, Shaista. I just said we have to look at the chart as well. This is interesting, Marius, that only one person reacted to your question about how many people have got their names on the first top search via LinkedIn with, like he said, that was Ichukudu with 43 connections. That gives you an indication that most of us do not even know where we stand. And I'll just look at about 3 or 4 questions, then I'll give you to answer. And then the other one, it's Michael Degley Griffin. Please forgive me for the misspelling or mispronunciation. He says, AI helped me fix my profile photo to be accurate and to look professional. Took effort, but worked. So what is your take on that? And I want to say thank you to Claire. Most of the questions that were asked to Claire, she quickly answered all of them at a go. So I'm not going to go through them. And the last question for this session, for this round is it wise to add your degree or even even if you haven't graduated yet? Do side hustle count? I've been doing my nails from home. How do I link that to the industry I want to go in? I don't see things like buying stock as the real SCM knowledge. Thank you. And that's from Mali Boho.
Okay, so you absolutely can use AI to help you on your profile photos. Sometimes for our clients, when they don't have professional photos available and they don't want to do photo shoots, then we will incorporate AI and generate some additional photos for them. So that's something that we do use, and as long as it is still a accurate representation of you, then like it is absolutely important, right? So again, if that person meets you in real life and they look at your profile photo, then they're going to have to make sure that those two are the same. Then the second one, sorry, and now I'm forgetting. I'm just going to reply to one question that I can see in the chat that more than one person's asked. Premium features are really not worth it. 99.9% of everything that you can do on LinkedIn, you can do for free. Premium is only relevant if you are a heavy networker or you are a salesperson or you want to use LinkedIn Learning outside of the free courses that are available. That's where it makes sense. Oh, and then the other question, 2 questions. One, you should absolutely add your qualifications, your education to your profile, even if you are not finished. Because again, like if you add your qualification and you list the courses and the areas of expertise that you've studied, it positions you better to people that you're connecting with. And if somebody is searching for students that are currently studying in those fields, they're gonna be able to find you. And then last thing, absolutely add side hustles, whether it's doing your nails, whether it's buying and selling stock, you should absolutely do that. Just again, think about it in the frame of reference of the person that's looking at your profile, right? So doing nails might not be relevant to your industry, but you're learning about business management, you're learning about stock procurement, you're learning about stock levels, you're learning about customer experience, you're learning about finance, right? All of those things, you don't think about it in that way. You don't categorize it as such, but those are the skills that you are learning through these side hustles.
Thank you very much for those questions and those answers that you provided, Marius. We are truly grateful. Unfortunately, the time is not on our side. I'm sorry to you, Shaista. Please put your question on the chat. It will be answered. Now I am just going to hand over to Dr. Weber to close the session. Thank you very much, Marius, and thank you very much to all of you for attending the session. The session would have not been a success without you all coming to this presentation. And also, please provide us with feedback in your module sites and also on this chat. I'm truly grateful to be offered this opportunity. Over to you, Dr. Weber.
Thank you so much, Winnie, and thank you for the way in which you managed the Q&A. There's a lot of questions and interesting questions, so I can only imagine it was difficult to decide which ones you were going to focus on. As Winnie indicated, my name is Dr. Alicia Weber. I'm a senior lecturer at UNISA in the Department of Applied Management, and it's my pleasure to not only conclude today's session, but to also give you some insights on how you can sign up for our next sessions and how you can be more involved with our mini masterclass series. So firstly, if you can remember when you registered for this session, we asked what other sessions you would like us to do in future. And the majority, I think it was about 70%, actually said that they would love a session on CV and interview skills. And so we are really excited that our next session focuses exactly on that. The session's name is From Soft Skills to Shortlists, letting your CV and interview skills do the talking. And that will take place on the 14th of April. We are very excited that Chantal Kading agreed to be our main speaker for the event, and she's really a leading expert in this field. So we are very excited that she will be here, and it's something you should not miss. You can register either through the QR code that's on the screen at the moment, or alternatively, I think my colleagues would have posted the direct link to register in the chat. Perhaps I can just add that people were very excited about this session and then also about our next session. We see that there's a lot of registrations already. So if you are interested to attend live, please do register as soon as possible. But alternatively, the session will be available on YouTube afterwards. That also brings us to the next and the final slide for today, and that is how can you stay up to date with these sessions or become more involved. There's two ways. The first one is YouTube. So this session, along with all our previous sessions, are available on YouTube. We've had some excellent speakers like Marius previously, so I think it will be valuable for you to visit our YouTube channel. Again, you can either do that through scanning the QR code that's on your screen at the moment, or alternatively, the direct link is in the chat. You can also join our mailing list. We send an email to all of our mailing list participants or who've signed up for our mailing list whenever new sessions becomes available. So you can stay up to date with what's going on in that way. Then before we close, I think Marius and Claire, they've shared such amazing things, but I think from my side, just one final thought, and that is that your future employer is already out there. But opportunities really find silent, soft potential. They find the people that choose to show up. So our hope for this session, before the session and after the session, was not only that you would walk away with a perfectly polished LinkedIn profile, but that you would use that profile confidently to show up for yourself, to share your voice, and to make your skills visible. So we hope that this is what you got from the session, and that after the session you will sit and you will all update your LinkedIn profiles. A final word of thank you, and that goes to our excellent speakers, Marius and Claire. Thank you so much for generously sharing your time with us today. Time is money, and Marius's services doesn't come cheap. So we are very fortunate that he was able to share that with us. And Claire, also, you're such an amazing partner, you and SAPICS. So we really appreciate you always being there with us. Then also a lot of things goes on behind the scenes to set up one of these mini masterclasses. And so for the whole supply chain management academic team at UNISA, thank you so much for your hard work and dedication putting all of this together for us. Then finally, our valued participants, thank you for sharing your lunch hour and a little bit with us today. We hope and we trust that you learned a lot, and we hope to see you at our next session. This brings us to the end. We hope you have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye-bye.